Morning. Can't find my microphone at the moment, so unfortunately we've got this loud noise called the wind in a flappy tent. Right, I'm going to pack up now and I'll bring you back when I can, one, find my microphone, and two, get out of this noisy tent. Right, well, that's me all packed up. Got my bags. This will be interesting for a time takedown actually with the wind, because I haven't done that in the Enan. So I'm going to have my gloves on and yeah. So anyway, I haven't shown you outside, have I yet? Oh. Look at that, eh? So even though it's, I mean, it's not massively windy, but windy enough for this tent. Seem to be putting this one through its test. Right, I'm gonna get some boots on, get my gloves on, and then I'll see you outside. Right, let's get out of here and see how windy it actually is. Say 20 mile an hour, but the wind's completely changed. So it's actually, if we go here, so the wind's actually blowing this way. Yesterday it was blowing that way, so now it's pushing broadside onto the tent. So let me get my stuff out and we'll have a look. Okay, so you can see what's happening now. So good thing I double pegged the opposite side, but this side here is got a good pegging point. So even though the wind's probably gusting about 20, well, gusting probably about 30, constant 20, and pushing broadside on the tent, it's still actually holding quite well. As you can see, this one here is loose, but because the tent's a lot lower than the Solo, and it's wide as well, so it gives it a good stance. But yeah, this will be interesting for packing it down. So I think what I'll do is I'll bring my bag over here. I think that'll do maybe for a takedown. Right, so this is going to be a windy time takedown. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is take these guys out, even though it's counterintuitive, but I want to get this pole down quickly. The only thing is it's only pegged in at the guys when it's going sideways. So I'm a bit worried about getting it flat. I'm wondering maybe if I should drop these first. Actually no, I think we could probably take the pole out, get the pole out with these guys still pegged in. Back one doesn't really matter so much, so I can maybe take that one out. Yeah. Okay, right. Time takedown with a bit of commentary. Right, let's go. Right. Oh, I can't even grab the peg. So that's one peg out. Let's put them all here. Let's get the pole out now. Get that drop down. Feed the pole out this way. It's quite hard. Let's get round the other side. So we can push it from there. And we have a stuck pole now. Here we go. It's back on. Can we feed this out now? Last part. Right, so that's the pole out. It's taken a while. I think next thing I'll do is take these end pegs out, just to get this down a bit further. I think I'll keep that guy in. Still deciding on what to do. That is probably not a good thing. Let's get this back out again. Should have kept hold of that. What do I do? Can I pull that out? Let's have a look. I've got an idea. Get that one out. That one out. Put them over there. Move the whole tent into the wind. Like that. And then we can do something with that. Right, so we've got this guy rope left. So the plan is I'm going to use it to wrap the tent. Like so. Then we can take that peg out. Now the hard part, not losing all the bags. Peg bag, because these are so light, they can easily fly away. Right, so one more to do. This is probably going to be the longest one. Right, what next? Let's do the tent. Trying to sort of utilize the wind to open the bag. Sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Okay, we're nearly there. Just got the whole bag to do now. So this is all good training, really. There we go. Time. So I'm going to put all this, because I put all this stuff on the outside of my bag. I'm just going to put all this back in here. That's one good thing about Hillebergs. They do give you a good bag a good sized bag. Right, let's get strapped onto the bag now. Twisted somewhat. Right, there we are. Quick check of the place. Nothing here, we've flattened all that sheep poo. Okay, so yeah, this is where we were. As you can see, I've got this little bowl here that I was thinking of retreating to. I just couldn't be bothered to get up and thought I'd endure the wind. Right, let's go onto the top and we'll have a little look around. Right, the summit of Sail Fell. A little mountain, little fell, but one that's quite alright. Nice little, not a hidden gem, but one that's sort of less frequented by the tourists. Right, the way I came up is that side, quite a short thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk down here through the gap, this path off to the left, and just along this ridge, and then back down there. That was quite interesting setting that tent there, putting that tent down. You know, you sort of learning on the hoof. What would I do and what would I not do? And I'd rather do it in places like this where it's not too cold than you know, if your tent collapses in the middle of the night and then you're trying to sort of figure out what to do at that point. I mean, hopefully it never comes to that. I don't really want to do that sort of tent collapsing video because I like my tents and I want to keep them. If someone gives me a free tent, I might try it. But for something that I bought myself out my own money, I'm not going to punish my tents. So looking over at the top there, I'm just sort of like navigating without a map or anything, because I can pretty much see the walk. So through this wall to that what was wall, and then take a left, or I could go across over onto that little summit there. But I think I'll just go left and then do that little ridge walk. So this was the wall I actually came up in the dark. And I went off to the left. So in fact, if I followed that wall down, it'll take me back to where I was. But we're going to go, yeah, pretty much where that guy's going now, just off to the left. Now I'm at that point where this old wall has either been taken down or just never used since it was, well, for a long time. In fact, that wall up there looks a little bit newer. But yeah, so I think we're going to go off up here. I was going to go left that way, but there's quite a substantial summit cairn on here. So I think I'm going to go up here and see what the view's like. Okay, so there's the summit cairn. I've actually come over here because I think that's the summit there. It is still higher than that cairn. That's there. Pretty much cairns are there mainly for marking paths, and as you can see, it's quite barrennous sort of over here. So when it's snowy, you're not going to see this path at all. I mean, it's quite obvious where it's at because it's in the dip, but if you're not sure, I suppose it's a help. But again, you're not. If you venture off the path here, it's not too bad. There's not really any big sort of high cliffs. So it's quite a safe fell to go up and to practice night hikes, which is one of the reasons why I chose it. Obviously, done a little bit of stuff in the dark, but I've never actually set off in the dark like I did yesterday. A few things, I suppose. What to do with the camera. I think I need to get, like, for the camera, it's obviously nothing that people need on a fell, but it's something I need to think about, and you know, getting a good light that spreads quite a lot. But yeah, having a head torch is definitely a must. You know, maybe a hand torch as well, or something that you can hold. One, you can use it as a backup, and two, you can just keep it down on the ground. You know, keep it pointing towards where you're walking when you're using the head torch as a something to look around at features and things. But yeah, I mean, it's always a good idea to take two torches if you're going out at night, or if there's a chance of being out, and don't use your phone as a backup. You know, that's, most phones these days have lights, but I definitely wouldn't count that as one backup of a backup. Where needs must, you want to use that phone for if you're out at night and you're getting stuck. You want to keep your phone battery for maybe contacting emergency services or something. That's why I like to use sat navs as well instead of my phone. Get used to the mapping that I've got on there. Yeah, even if you know OS maps, it's still a bit of a learning curve using the Talkie Toaster maps that I use, just understanding the different features. The contours and everything are pretty much all the same. Visually, I think the OS map ones are better. I haven't really tried the OS map on mine purely because of the cost of them. Even if you want a region, it's £150 for OS map. The UK is like 350. which is a lot of money to drop on something that, one, doesn't get updated, and two, is stuck on that device. If it was like an online thing that you can pay for, then yeah, probably. Anyway, so we're walking along this ridge. You can just see the top end of Lothwaite there. There's been a lot of flooding recently up at the top end there. It's pretty much a floodplain, so it's quite patchy over there. So we're going along this ridge. Not sure what this one's called, but Sail Fell is just over there, and that is the point where I camped, just on that little sort of jutty out bit. Quite a flat walk really, as far as hills are concerned. And you can see Bass a little bit better. I think when we get up to the top here, you should be able to see Lothwaite in all its glory. I know Lothwaite is the only lake. Here, look what we've got here. We've got a seat. We've got a little place where we can sit down. Is this kind of a viewpoint? A sign for this seat? Yeah, there is. There's a little memorial. Let's see what we got here. Margaret Brown, 2008, and Jeff Brown. I wonder if they were local farmers. But look at what they're looking down on, eh? Stunning. Even in this wind and claggy weather, still looks nice. Look at this. Well, this is unexpected. From Sail Fell, I've always kind of gone down the back. I haven't really come over this way before. Look at this for a stunning view. I think this is going to be another camp up here. Nice to get a view across that way. Now the wind's coming in this way, but the prevailing usually is going that way. So if I time it right, I could maybe get a good camp up here. And there's quite, there's some spots to camp as well. I think I'm going to follow this path off to the right. There's a path off to the left. There's also a bigger path off to the right. So I'm just going to follow down here, just because I want to see if there's a place to camp. See the little path off to the left just there. This one here is quite a wide path. Yeah, you can definitely get a pitch on here. In fact, it looks like someone has, either here or here. Nice little easy walk from the woods, and then you get that as a view, eh? So anyway, we're gonna walk off down here, get to the wall, and then we're gonna follow the wall down left. So as I'm on YouTube, I thought I'd best look up what this hill's called. Lothwaite side. Now it's Lothwaite, so a thwaite is a clearing. I do know that. Like a clearing in a valley, I think it is. But probably Lothwaite. It could be Lothwaite. Over time these names get changed. It could have been Lothwaite at some point. Ask a local farmer what he calls it. He'd probably say Lothwaite or Lothwaite or Lothwaite, I suppose. So with dialect, sometimes these names get changed by the mapping companies. They ask the locals what do you call that hill, and they'll say it, and then they'll write down. So when you look at old maps, sometimes there's different spellings for different places, and yeah, it's a funny one. So this old argument of what something's called, it's been translated by someone that doesn't live here, that does mapping, and they've just asked the locals what it's called and try and interpret, changed what they've said. They've tried to look at what they've said, and because most of them are probably all broad Cumbrian locals, they've just written down what they can hear. Right, anyway, we're here. We're down to this part of the fell, Lothwaite. I'm going to call it Lothwaite, I think. Yeah, we're down here. That is Witherwood, and the wall that we followed going up yesterday was up there. So, albeit 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning, I've met one guy up on the top over there and a family walking up here, and these fells are usually quite quiet. It is Remembrance Sunday today, so I'm just thinking quite possibly people might be coming up for that. A big one to go up is Great Gable. Quite a lot of people meet up there. Park at Lothwaite. One year, quite a lot of people parked down there, and the farmer got quite angry, and he couldn't get his work done. And this is what happened. So as you can see, there's a fair bit of damage. I'm not sure what actually happened to him. Whether he got, I mean, obviously he had to pay up, but people were in his way, so don't get in the way. When you're down Lothwaite parking, make sure you park properly, because the farmers down there are not tolerant. Hello, doggy. Hello. Got a few dogs. Just had a chat with this lady going past. Such a Cumbrian chat as well. It turns out she knows my mum, she knows my dad, she knows my family, everything. And I know people she knows as well. But yeah, that's Cumbria for you. It's a wide, it's a big place, but there's not that many people that live in the area. It looks like there's a little smattering of rain coming in. This moss here, this boggy part here, it's always, you know, when you're looking at camping, to think, I'll go and camp there, it's nice and flat. But then reeds and everything, what you find is when you get there, it's really lumpy and probably very boggy as well. You know, you've got them trees there growing. In fact, half of them look dead. It is coming into winter time now, so it probably, I don't know whether they are actually still all right, them trees. So as I'm coming down here, I was just wondering whether I actually took the right, you know, path to go, but it's going across here, and then that wall there is the wall that I kind of followed up yesterday, and you can just see the sort of steeper path that I followed going up as well. If this was still in the dark, I mean, I wouldn't be able to see any of this, but you know, that feature, that wall, would have been something to look at coming down. I know where I'm at now. So there's a little gate down there. That was the gate I actually came to when I was walking up by the wall. So I'm definitely on the right path now. So even though I kind of know the hill, and I know if I come down this way it'll get me to the right place, it's always good practice to look at features and remember features when you're going up, you know. So coming up here in the dark, I was obviously trying to look for quite standout features like the wall, certain trees and stuff like that. This fell is surprisingly busy. I didn't think it would actually be this busy. I've passed a group of fell runners, that lady, another family, and there's another person walking up again. Right, I'm glad I've got my boots on. Get across this back here. Just noticed something red up there, so I'm going to go and have a quick look and see what it is. Just need to cross this little whatever it is. I think it's supposed to be here. When you're on farmland or kept land, you know, there is random bits of plastic and things that, like that tub there, and I've just noticed by the wall actually There's another load of them tubs. Not entirely sure what it's for. It could be used for sheep feed or something like that. Let's go and have a look at the tub and read what it says on the side. There we go. It is sheep feed, Crystallix, extra high energy. So it's sheep feed. So yeah, so it's nothing wrong having that tub out there. It's probably just a farmer feeding his sheep. So he probably comes up here with loads of tubs and just dumps them on the side of the fell there. And then obviously comes to collect them because he's a farmer. He's not going to leave a mess, is he? He or she. So I remember walking up here and obviously couldn't see that much. But I do remember hearing this beck saying it was, you know, really loud during the day. You can't hear it as much. I don't know what it is, but whether it's just the sort of general background noise. But at night, it sounds almost like a waterfall. But yeah, it's a good feature to remember when you're walking up. So this was a little path that crossed the beck into the woods there. But we're parked down at the bottom of Sale Fell. So it'll be nice to go down into them woods, but we're going to go this way. And obviously what you don't get at night is the views. Didn't see any of this yesterday. Again, you know, this is the west coast, so the west side of the Lake District. It is a quieter side, more undulating mountains. There's nothing really high over this side. The first big mountain that you come to is Skidder and Blencathra, which is another sort of 4 miles in that direction. You can actually see them from the top of this fell. But yeah, quite a featureless mountain, this one. But saying that again, it is quite a popular one. It's kind of the first decent sized fell from the coast, Cockermouth. It is quite accessible. There's a road just at the bottom there. You've got the A66, which is the major sort of A road cutting across from Penrith to Workington to the coast. So it's quite accessible. And then you've got a pub down there. And also just down there is the train. It's the old train track, and there's a train that bought off a movie set, and it's now a restaurant. I've been told it's not a cafe. It's a restaurant. And then we've got Bass Lake, looking fairly full. Right, sometimes from here, looking out towards the coast there, you can actually see Scotland, but it's just a little bit claggy. So we can just see the coast. With this camera it doesn't pick up very well. But here we've got a fell-top golf course. So coming down here, when I was walking up in the dark, I mean obviously it always kind of looks different, even in the daytime when you're walking down, if you don't look back all the time. But you can see the church, that's Withup Church, and the road is not far away now. That's that little path, and that's quite an off-camber path. That I'm glad I never took that one. I was half thinking of just taking there is a few sort of fell paths, fell running paths that go directly up this, but looking at how steep it is, I'm glad I went this way. Well, I'm kind of sorry this is a short one. Couldn't really do anything in the tent this morning, didn't really have any breakfast. I knew it was a short walk off, so yeah, the footage has been a bit sporadic and a bit, you know, it's a bit featureless around here. So maybe next time try and get something a bit more exciting. Hopefully I can blab on enough to the camera that I've got enough footage for you guys to actually watch and be interested in. The night stuff is quite hard to film, and again, being my first night camp, you know, night hike and camp, it's a learning curve for myself as well. Might try this next week, might try another night one, see how the footage comes out before I decide. But as far as wild camps are concerned, was actually quite enjoyable. Got to sit and chill for a bit, and that wind kind of stayed off until say 4 o'clock in the morning, and then it was a bit relentless after that. But all's good, yes. So yeah, quite a good successful camp. This has been Lost in the Lakes, and we'll see you in the next one.